April the 18th, 2024. Guys, it's been a long week, getting settled down a little bit now. And I took a video down. YouTube didn't take it down. I did it. It was having to do with some of the effects that we saw after the eclipse. Now, that information is going to become very dangerous real quick. The reason behind that, the reason I'm telling you this is because they passed that new FISA law. If you remember in the live video a few days ago, we watched it for over an hour, I think, and they kept going back to the bill before that. But later on in the night, they passed that new warrantless search law, the new FISA bill. And guys, if you haven't had a chance to read it, you may want to, because not only is it warrantless searches on anything, any media out there, print, video, web, it doesn't matter. And anybody that has what they call a system or service, say you walk into a hamburger joint, sit down and use their internet while you're eating lunch or something, or breakfast, whatever. Well, with the new law, that company has to turn over any information that they got from you during that time. They don't have a choice. They can be fined and put out of business if they do not. And so what's happened, or what's happening, is the fact that we are now looking at 1984, the book. Everyone will be forced to spy on everyone else, or they go to jail. Read the new bills. And Mike Johnson, the traitor from Louisiana, is behind this. And in the laws that got passed, besides the FISA law that Mike Johnson let go through, was billions for Ukraine and billions for Israel and money for Taiwan. None for the U.S. or any of the situations that we're facing here at home. And so what all of us have to do is come to the realization that there is a uniparty. There may be a couple of Mustangs or Mavericks in that group, especially on the Republican side. I think the other side walks pretty much lockstep. But other than a couple of Mavericks that we're seeing there, it's all been handed over to whoever the new world leaders are, and I think we know that, who they are. Anyway, it was a paradigm shift that night. Everything changed. Folks from major suppliers of media, especially on the internet, are coming down and firing a lot of people just inside their organizations that don't go along with their plans. And if they're exposing anything, all of this is happening in just a few days since this went down. So guys, it's about to be independent decisions by you, by me, the people listening, that's going to make a difference on the outcome of what we're about to go through. You better circle the wagons, because now with this new law, guys, you do not realize how draconian it is. The new law gives them everything they wanted to do to jackboot everyone. And they're going to do it. They're going to try every way they can. And now you've got the media behind it. You've got, of course, any type of enforcement in the federal level is behind this. And so where do we stand? One of the things that we've noticed, and we're all guilty of it, is paying attention to the circus. You can't help it. You see a trial going down that's going to make or break the American way of life, freedom, then though you do need to pay attention to that type of stuff. But it's a daily onslaught, and most of it, even possibly a trial having to do with the future presidents, it's just part of the play. Most of us realize that, but it becomes more obvious every day when you see both sides combining into one there. So with this distraction that we're seeing with the media, who is complicit, there are no major media outlets, even alternative media outlets, that are not part of this game, I think. You've got some media outlets that are pro one side, some the other, right? But they're all doing the same thing, leading your attention to a war or to an election or something else, when the Federal Reserve, folks like that, are destroying everything. Don't look at the banks. Don't look at that situation. The stock market looks good, but the stock market has completely decoupled from real life and the real economy. It's amazing to see what's happening with it. If you look at, say, CNBC or something like that, you get a little bit of truth, but most of it's so biased and one-sided that you cannot realize how much trouble the economy is in right now, and it is. And so they had to control the economy. They have to control the communications, right? And they're going to do it. And I think there's been compared to a few years ago, and anybody that's been, especially if you're a YouTuber, and all you guys that watch them, is the fact that there was some slack in the last few years on what you could talk about. And in and even in this year of 2024, in these first 4 months, a little more freedom, letting that lease out a little bit more by the major networks, especially the web works, let's put it like that, the platforms that you watch. And is that a trap? You guys that are YouTubers, that make videos, listen very carefully to what I'm telling you. It's like putting honey to trap something. In other words, let us find out, since now AI is coming forward. We have new FISA laws, and they knew they were going to get that passed. They had the majority in the Senate, and they knew they had Mike Johnson in their pocket. But get all of this going. And in the meantime, let everybody kind of do what they wanted to, and let's record everything. Let's mark it down, who's saying what, who's doing this. And I'm telling you, not out of fear, but for your own good, as far as, do you want to maintain your platform? Are you going to be wiser than the serpent? Can you get your information out that's important without compromising yourself? It's going to be a hard road to hoe, but if you think about what I'm telling you about this leniency of information, back during the pandemic, you couldn't say hardly anything about anything. But then after that, we started to see again more and more slack, and I think now that's going to come back to haunt every one of us. But again, it's not fear, but guys, if you see the contents of channels start to change a little bit, understand why. But at the same time, the people that are devoted to getting pertinent information out, we're going to find a way, guys, one way or the other, but you're going to have to read between the lines sometimes and do your own studying. And so just, it makes it 10 times harder to do a video when you've got muzzles on you in order to maybe protect not just your platform, but yourself and your family with what's coming. So be prepared. The banks are in bad trouble. Make sure you have the supplies you need for your family. That's one thing you can do for this. And be very careful of the distractions of mainstream media, both alternative mainstream, and there are those that have been here for a long time, and we've watched them all, right? But they all tend to drift into the same direction, even the alternative media. So again, we've got to be wiser than the serpent in all ways, spiritual, in what we're going to do physically about the situation that's coming down on us. And so just, again, we're going to get the information out the best way we can, and I'm hoping that the other YouTubers that you guys watch that are very good understand what I'm talking about here. I think they do, but that law changed everything. Now, what you're looking at, this is the Sky Live in the top left corner. It's one of the links on bpearthwatch.com down on the left there. The horizon is a gray area, and you're looking west from this view. Neptune, Venus, Mercury, the Sun. Here's Uranus and Jupiter, and here's the comet. Now, because the sun's here, you can't see it. But as the sun sets in the west, they're starting to get very good views of it, and it's an expanding comet. In other words, it's getting brighter as it gets closer to the sun. It's going to be an amazing event. And the reason I'm going here, not only this is a platform we can talk about something and other things, but there are the images that are coming in out of, there's one fella, Jeremy Perez, I think is his name, and I'll show you one of his images. He is north of Flagstaff, and it's beautiful country. I've been through there, coming back from the Grand Canyon. We took the east route and came back down through a lot of the Hopi country and into, we saw the big volcano that was up there with the red tops, copper top or whatever they call it, and you can see the San Francisco peaks. Guys, it's beautiful up there, but this is about to change. You're going to get more and more images of it as it gets brighter. Notice it's getting closer to the sun. Then it's going to shoot back out into its orbit. This is the one they're calling the Devil Comet. There's a smaller comet that hit the sun, but the Devil Comet, guys, is really a misnomer. It appeared to have wings, and that was the tails of the comet. We've seen it before, but now it's expanded so large and bright. But check it out. Look into the west. As the sun goes down, you're going to start seeing it to the west-southwest slightly. But you'll see Jupiter, the brightest star there, and it's going to, if you look, let me pull this up right there. The comet's going to be just under. So check that out. If you get some images, let us know. And guys, a place, again, with very little light pollution is north of Flagstaff. And this, let me pull it back up. Jeremy Perez, north of Flagstaff. He has a website. It's called PerezMedia.net. He signed it here, Jeremy Perez. But this is Pons Brooks right here, and he's looking north from Flagstaff. Check that out, guys. Beautiful comet. Now, he's using a telescope, but more than likely, if you don't have one, you're going to, especially in places like this or anywhere in the west that is at higher elevation, in no light pollution, it should be visible by the naked eye. Get you some binoculars, check it out, cameras. But again, if you're getting pictures, guys, let us know about it. In the ancient times, before people really knew this was coming, you didn't have all the space cameras and things. These signs, the comets like this, the big ones, and the eclipses always were in the time of war, famine, or disease. Something like that changed, or political upheavals. We're watching it, guys. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.